Greetings everyone, this is Rabbi Patrick, and this is a little video on how to lead Shabbat at Bonay Kodesh. So people have asked about an adult ed opportunity related to this, and obviously because everyone has radically different schedules, different amounts of time they could commit, even if they can show up to a class, it just made more sense to put something online. So what I'm hoping for in this class is for lay leaders, for people who are interested in leading, to understand that you do not have to be a rabbi to host a Shabbat in your home. So this is very much about the home Shabbat. Now I'll do another video maybe after Passover about how to do the Torah service. It's not nearly as hard, not nearly as frightening, not nearly as scary as people think that it is. So for now, though, this is about how to lead the service that is the sort of table service, the Seder service, for lack of a better word. Now, first thing, when you tell people that you are having a home Shabbat, even though we jokingly call it a Seder service, and we call it that because it's sort of done around a table, our service booklet is about as thick as a child's Haggadah, things like that. Please do not call it a Seder service. That's very, very confusing. Call it a lay-led service. Lay-led service. Don't call it anything else. Lay-led service. That'll make it a lot easier for people to understand. So I will go on ahead and tell you kind of what you need to do to get set up. So the first thing you need to do is pick a location. Once you have done that, an email needs to go out. These things need to be done at least a week in advance. You can do something a day in advance. It's very difficult to get people to come to something on a day's notice. So make sure that you have at least a week's advance notice. Secondly, there's a person who will bring the tub with the paper goods and things like that. I always try to hope that the person hosting will donate that. That way we can continue to collect all of those items because those are things that we can use for our bigger parties. So forks, knives, spoons, plates, cups, things like that, things that people generally have laying around the house anyway. So you need to make sure you have that. For the host, you need to have a challah and you need to have a bottle of wine. Other than that, that is all the host needs to do. Location, challah, which you can get at lots of different kinds of grocery stores. Just call in advance, because if you try to buy the challah day of, you might get stuck not having one, and then it's stressful and all of that. So have a location, have the challah, a bottle of wine. Any bottle of wine is fine. And then the dry goods, forks, knives, spoons, things like that. That's all you need as a host. If you want to make more sort of food, of course, go right on ahead. But it's the responsibility of the people coming to bring food. So people start to arrive. Everyone, serve beverages, Cokes and tea and wine and all of that. People can drink wine before Kiddush. It's okay. It's okay for people to drink wine before we do the wine blessing. Sometimes people think they're not allowed to. They are more than allowed to. So serve drinks. Make sure people are feeling good, feeling happy, feeling accommodated. When it's about 15 minutes after the start time, so let's say you say that the event starts at 6, start the blessings at 6:15. Always do 15 minutes. Don't wait 45 minutes. Don't wait a half an hour. Because what will happen is over time, people will show up later and later and later to things. It is okay if people miss the first blessings. It is perfectly okay. They showed up late. They took the risk of coming late. So do not feel like, oh gosh, we just can't start until so-and-so comes. You can start. You can start. So 15 minutes after start time. So 6 o'clock is the event. 6:15 is when you have those booklets out. Do not wait any later. Okay, so let's start with the actual service. So I recommend you have 3 people who are part of the service. And you should kind of decide those people in advance, or you can ask people when they start to come. They do not have to read Hebrew. This is very important. This is the great thing about this service booklet. They do not have to be able to read Hebrew. The Hebrew is also transliterated. It's very, very easy stuff. Plus, they can watch this video, and this will help them as well. So let's say everyone is ready to go. We start by having someone who leads us into the rituals. So these are responsive readings and things like that. So the first person is the one who leads us into ritual. So if you look on this page, Olamcha, which says your world, you can just read to people what the text says, or you can turn it into what's called a responsive reading. So everyone is gathered at 6:15. The first person starts with Olamcha. And I'm not going to read all of this to you because you can read it yourself. But you can either have one person, that person, read it like a poem, or you can tell them, or they can say, well, I'll read the plain text, and then we will read the italics responsively. So you can do it either way. I recommend doing the responsive reading. So once you do that, you have candle lighting. So candle lighting is generally, if this is a household where a woman lives, that's the very traditional way. We always have a sort of guest, a special guest, do the candle lighting. The guest does not have to do the blessing by themselves. I know it's the Hebrew that's intimidating, but they don't. Everyone does it together. So after you've done Olamcha, then you do the candle lighting. The candle lighting, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat. Let me say that a little bit slower. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat. That's it. That's all you have to do. The next part is the sharing of uplifting news. So the person who is sort of leading us into prayer would then say, okay, does anyone have any happy, silly, funny, quirky news that they want to share? That's it. And usually have about 3 people. I try to keep at about 3, there's always going to be that one person who's, I want to share. Let that person share, but don't try to torture people into sharing. If only 2 people share, that's fine. If 3, 4 people share, that's fine. Don't go above 4. Do not go above 4. And if someone is kind of taking a long time to say their happy, silly, quirky, funny news, then you cut down a little bit. You have to do it by feel, but 3 people is usually about right. Okay, so now we do Barhu. The Barhu that we do at Bonay Kodesh is the Debbie Friedman version. It's the one that goes la 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 la. La 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 la. And then let me say this very slowly for you. So Baruch et Adonai Hamvorach, Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Leolam Va'ed. And we do it in a sing-songy version. And then we go back to doing the lie part. Again, everyone does this together. So if you're a leader, you're really not leading. What you're really doing is just help. You're just helping people to know, okay, now we do this, now we do this, now we do this. The next part, you have a choice of either an unending love or the Sabbath. So if there weren't very many people sharing, if you've gone through things very quickly, then one person, that leader, should read an unending love. If you have lots of people sharing and you're running late, if by now it is getting painfully close to 6:30, then you can skip all of this, or you can read this nice little quote by Abraham Joshua Heschel. So either way. The next part is the Shemona Esrei. So this is read together. in English, read together. So give us insight to understand your ways, right? Baruch Hu and the Shemona Esrei are read standing. So once the person has reached the end of leading Shemona Esrei, person number one is done. They've done everything that they had to do. So let's review. So they led by either reading or doing responsively Olamcha, which can be done seated. They have helped someone light the candles. They've done the sharing of joy. They have risen and led Baruch Hu. And then they have read either An Unending Love or the Sabbath. And then together, standing, the Shemona Esrei. So that is person number one. Person number one is done. They've done everything they're supposed to do. So now Kiddush. So Kiddush is another one that is standing. So everyone stands for this. And it's another one where you have one person leading, but they really don't have to do much. All they have to say is Baruch. And then eventually everyone's going to go along with them. I will post another video on how to lead Kiddush because it's a song. So you just learn the song. Again, it's transliterated, so you don't have to learn the Hebrew. So what's generally nice is for Kiddush, if you have the little Kiddush cups, the little Dixie cups of wine or grape juice already poured. If not, have the bottle uncorked or unscrewed, ready to go. And then you just go ahead and pour. The goal is to make sure to have all of those glasses poured and ready to go. You want a flow, right? You don't want to be sort of sitting around like, well, now what do we do, right? Or, well, now we got to do this, right? So you want to make sure that you're prepared in advance. Another thing that I should mention about the candles, when we do service at First Church, we do group candle lighting. I did not mention that in the video here because I felt like group candle lighting in a household setting may be tricky for some people. Having said that, if someone has a bunch of tea lights or if the supply box is brought over with a bunch of tea lights, then go for it. But I sort of presumed when I was teaching that part that you would have one person doing that. But a group of people can do that as well. Okay, so Kiddush is done. And then we do the challah. So the challah is the silly, sing-songy song. Hamotzi lechem min haaretz. We give thanks to God for bread. Thanks, God. Our voices rise in song together as our joyful prayer is said. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. So I will say the Hebrew a little bit slower. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Melech, Ha'olam, Hamotzi, Lechem, Min, Haaretz. So you don't say it all over again. That's just to help you with the Hebrew. So person number one did everything up to the Kiddush. Person number two led Kiddush and Challah. And then the person number two is also the one who's going to give a Devar Torah or a Shabbat conversation. So I would recommend a Shabbat conversation and not giving a sermon. The reason why is that I think it's more interactive for people to have a conversation rather than having one person teach something. Also, because from a Jewish educational standpoint, different people are in different places in life. Sometimes it's easy to teach something and only know a little piece of what you're teaching and not know all the context of it, and to trip yourself up and to get way too in your head about it and to have lots of feelings of uncertainty. So what I suggest is go on reformjudaism.org, and there's lots of different articles about that week's Torah portion. Little paragraph, right? And just pull up a paragraph and just read that paragraph for the Devar Torah. I would recommend that after you've done the challah, that's when you eat. And then when people are pretty much done with eating dinner, that's when you do the Shabbat conversation. That's typically what we do. And so again, you just read a paragraph and talk a little bit about it. or you can print out multiple copies. You could print a paragraph twice on a sheet of paper and give it out to people. You could also look for discussion questions, right? So again, go on reformjudaism.org, pull up information about that week's Torah portion, perhaps read the Torah portion if you're the person who's going to be that second reader, and do that. So person number 1 led up to Kiddush, person number 2, Kiddush, Challah, and the Shabbat conversation. And then person number 3 starts with Misha Berach. So Misha Berach is leading the song. So it's the Debbie Friedman, Misha Berach, that song. Before you do that song, we ask, is there anyone who is in need of healing of mind, body, or spirit? So you go around the room, people will say, who the person is. Then we sing the Misha Berach. Then we have announcements. So this leader number 3 will say, does anyone have any announcements? What I do is I always look to the president, treasurer, secretary, people on the board first to ask for Bonay Kodesh announcements. Come to this event, come do this thing. And then from there, I will say, does anyone have any personal announcements? Birthdays coming up, celebrations you'd like us to be involved in, anything that matters to you that we can be helpful with. So usually people don't have something for that, but I always like to make sure it's out there. So now the next part is Aleinu. So this is a standing prayer. So Aleinu l'shabeach ladon hakol latet gedula leotzer breshit. Okay, that, and that's kind of the melody. So I'm going to say the Hebrew very slowly. Aleinu l'shabeach ladon hakol latet gedula leotzer breshit shelo asanu Higoye, Haratzot, Velo, Samanu, Kamishbechot, Hadama, Shalo, Sam, Kalkenu, Kahem, Vegor, Aleinu, Kehol, Hamonam. And then this is the part where people can bow, they don't have to. Va'anaknu, Korim, Umishtachavim, Umodim, Lifnei Melech Malchei Hamlachim Hakadosh Baruch Hu. And then the melody kind of changes real quick on this part. So it's the V'nemar V'haya Adonai, that part. Okay. So V'nemar V'haya Adonai Lamelech Al Kol Haaretz Bayom Hahu Bayom Hahu Yeh Adonai Echad Ushmo 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 Echad. So that's Aleinu. So this is person number 3 leading this. If things have been very short, if no one really responded to the Devar Torah, the Shabbat conversation, if things are moving incredibly fast, then you can add in one of these 2 prayers. These 2 readings. So either the selection from the Union Prayer Book, Aleinu, or moving on to the next page where it says there are stars. Now, just as with Misha Berach, we go around the room. This time, however, for Kaddish. So Kaddish in the Bonay Kodesh practice is anyone who is observing a Yarzeit, anyone who is in a period of ritual mourning, or anyone who has passed away who you are thinking about. And it does not have to be a Jewish person. So we go around the room, people say the names. And then we rise. Mourner's Kaddish in the Aramaic, not in the Hebrew, in the Aramaic is found on page 10, or what most people are going to use is the transliteration, which is found on the next page. So it's Yitgadal, we all say this together, Yitgadal, V'Yitkadash, Shmei, Rabbah, Belma, Divra, Chirute, V'Yamlich, Malchute, V'Chayechon, Uv'Yomechon, Uv'Chaye, Dekol, Beit, Yisrael, Ba'agala, Uv'Izman, Kariv, Vimru, Amen, Yehe, Shmei, Rabba, Mevorach, Leolam, Ulameh, Almaya, Yitbarak, Vishtabach, Viet Pa'ar, Viet Roman, Roman, Viet Nase, Viet Hadar, Viet Ale, Viet Alal, Shmei Kudusha, Brechu, Le'ela, Min Kol Birchata, Vishirata, Tushbachata, Venechamata, Da Amiran, Bialma, Vimru, Amen, Yehe, Shlama, Rabba, Min Shemaya, V'chayim, Aleinu, V'alkol Yisrael, Vimru, Amen, Oseh, Shalom, Bimrumav, Hu, Yaseh, Shalom, Aleinu, V'alkol Yisrael, Vimru, Amen. And then whoever is leading sometimes can add at the end of that this little piece of English. May the one who makes peace in heaven make peace on earth for all of us, for all of Israel, and for everyone around the world. And let us say, Amen. So you can end there if you would like. You do not have to go beyond that. But if you look at the bottom of page 11 and then the rest of the book, you can find different kinds of songs and things like that. For most lay-led services, it seems like once Kaddish is done, it's done. Adon Olam is a very popular song, and you can sing it to any melody, so that's a possibility as well. So, a recap. So, person number one leads everything up to Kiddush. Person number two leads Kiddush Hamotzi and the Shabbat conversation. Person number three reads the rest. So you can pick those people in advance, a good idea, or advance can be 6 o'clock. But I really recommend that you have people in advance. And again, everyone panics about the Hebrew. Everyone panics and says they don't know. They do know. And everything we do is as a group. So really it's about reassuring people to not be afraid to step into that role. Once the Kaddish and any other songs you might want to do are done, that is that. You are done. Usually dessert is served after that. You can have more wine, you can do whatever, and then it's the process of people slowly leaving. So that is how you lead the table service, the lay-led service at Bonay Kodesh. And I look forward to all of the lay-led services that we will experience together.